In the world of American soccer, you just don't see stories like this very often. A club going from a lower division upstart to the absolute best team in the country in only 8 years. It's wild. So let's get into the incredible story of FC Cincinnati.
So here's the real head-scratcher, right? How on earth did a second division team become the hottest ticket in town? We're talking about a club that built a massive major league level fan base before they were even in the major leagues. Turns out, the answer is all about a city that was just starving for a team to call its own. Okay, so let's rewind. It all kicks off on August 12th, 2015. Football Club Cincinnati is born. They're starting out in the United Soccer League, or USL, which is basically the second tier of American soccer. And what happens right out of the gate? Well, nobody could have predicted it. So we're diving into the city's soccer explosion. And look, embrace is not the right word. The city of Cincinnati became completely and totally obsessed with this team almost overnight. They started putting up attendance numbers that were they were bonkers for a team in the second division. Check this out, 20,497. That's how many people showed up on April 16, 2016. In their very first season, they didn't just break the USL attendance record, they absolutely smashed it. But believe it or not, they were just warming up. Yep, less than a month later, they do it again. 23,375. They broke their own record. So you see, this wasn't some one-off event. It was becoming a real movement. The city was officially hooked. And then this, 30,187. For their first ever playoff match. Think about that for a second. Over 30,000 people for a second division game. That's not just big, that's Major League Soccer level support. And you better believe the folks at MLS headquarters were paying very close attention. But it wasn't just about the fans in the stands. In 2017, the team went on this absolutely legendary run in the US Open Cup. That's the tournament where teams from every level of soccer in the country face off. And man, did they earn a reputation. They became known as the Giant Killers. And they totally lived up to that name. They knocked out not one, but two top-tier MLS teams. First, they took down their in-state rivals, the Columbus Crew. Then, they beat the Chicago Fire in this nail-biter of a penalty shootout. Their keeper, Mitch Hildebrandt, became an instant hero with 10 saves in that game. This incredible run took them all the way to the semifinals. And the momentum just kept building. By 2018, they weren't just underdogs anymore. They were the best team in the whole league, clinching the USL regular season title. I mean, at this point, what else was there to prove in the second division? The next step was pretty obvious, right? And that brings us to the Major League nightmare. Because, yeah, Major League Soccer came calling. But that dream of hitting the big time, it turned into a total nightmare fast. So on May 29th, 2018, it's official, FC Cincinnati is an MLS expansion team. And the league commissioner, Don Garber, he didn't mince words about why. He said if it wasn't for the Bailey, FC Cincinnati wouldn't have been in Major League Soccer. The Bailey, that's their die-hard supporters section. It was the fans, straight up, who willed this team into the top league. So the team gears up. They go out and sign Fernando Audi, their first big-name designated player. That's a special roster spot for high-priced stars. The thinking was, okay, let's take that championship culture from the USL and just plug it into MLS. Yep, that did not work. It was an absolute train wreck. Look at this comparison. For their first 3 seasons in MLS, 2019 through 2021, they finished dead last. Every single year. That's 3 wooden spoons in a row, the not-so-coveted prize for the worst team in the league. All that winning energy from the USL days? Gone. Replaced by a revolving door of coaches and just chaos. But then, the rebirth of the orange and blue. Just when it looked like they were stuck at the bottom forever, everything changed. And it all came down to 2 critical hires. Okay, so here's the 2-step plan that saved the club. Step 1, in October 2021, they hire Chris Albright as the general manager. He's the architect. Step 2, just a couple months later, he brings in Pat Noonan to be the head coach. And those 2, they literally changed everything.
And the turnaround wasn't gradual, it was immediate. In 2022, their very first season together, the team makes the MLS Cup playoffs for the first time ever. The offense just came alive. Forwards Brenner and Brandon Vasquez both bagged 18 goals, and their main man, Luciano Acosta, led the whole league with 19 assists. Just incredible.
But that was just a preview, because in 2023, they did the unthinkable. They completed the ultimate worst-to-first story. They became Supporters Shield champions. That's the trophy for having the best regular season record in the entire league. From the very bottom to the very top. Wow. And the guy leading the charge? Their captain, Luciano Acosta. He was named the 2023 MLS Most Valuable Player, the first MVP in the club's MLS history. He was the absolute engine of this comeback. So this all brings us full circle. Back to what makes this club so special. It was forged by the fans. Because look, the trophies are great, the players are amazing, but the real heart and soul of FC Cincinnati has always been its connection to the city. And you can see this perfectly in their pregame ritual. It's just called the March. Thousands of fans meet up at pubs in the Over-the-Rhine neighborhood. Then they all rally together at Washington Park before marching as one giant group right through the city's streets to TQL Stadium. It's this incredible sea of orange and blue that just takes over the town. This fan culture is so one of a kind that it's even where the team's best nickname comes from. So fans looked at the winged lion on the crest, and someone noticed that if you kind of squint, the shape of the lion looks like it spells out the name Gary. Seriously. And it stuck. To this day, the most diehard fans call the team the Garys. So when you think about it, this is a team built by its city for its city. From setting attendance records in a lower league to becoming MLS champions, it's all about that community bond. So what's next for the Orange and Blue? I mean, after a climb like that, what do you even do for an encore?